Hi everyone, this is Kate Holloman and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. Today is day 4 of the 100-day project and I am working on my personal project, which is 100 days of painting. And so if you are looking for something to do in these 100 days, you can join me. I decided to split it up into 10 categories. 10 different topics to make it more possible, and each category is going to have 10 paintings, and I started with portraits. So if you have watercolor paper and watercolors and round brushes, a pencil, eraser, water, and a paper towel, you can join me. This time I decided to make a time lapse as the main video and add the narrative afterwards so that you can take away as much as you can, be inspired, pause as needed, but also I just wanted to see if this is a better format for my videos rather than go in a full 45 minutes to an hour in a step-by-step. But I need you to let me know in the comments if this works better for you. So what I did today is I took a photo as an inspiration and just decided to add a bunch of flowers again. And here I am mixing my skin tone color. I always go with making the white color creamy in the beginning, just with water. And when it's creamy, I add some brown and some red. And I always have to redo this again and again, because the more you go into the circle and take away the paint, it's basically doing the same thing as if you were cleaning it. So you lose the color and you have to always add more. And as you can see, I, again, as in my other videos, I sort of outline the face and kind of contour a little bit. And then with a wet brush, I blend. And so to do this most effectively, you clean your brush, wipe it a little bit, dab it onto your paper towel so it's not soaking wet, it's not supposed to be dripping water, and then you blend. And if you have good watercolor paper, this is going to work very well. If you are using different kind of paper like a cardstock or just any type of a carton paper, it's not going to do the same thing. The paint will just really sit there and it'll be really hard to blend. So watercolor paper is definitely most recommended for this kind of blending. And the process is just going on repeat. I add my darkest color where there are the darkest areas. So this is really good, you know, if you have a photo, to follow what you see with your eyes, and then always go back in with blending. If it's too light, it can happen, you know, grab some darker color, add it, blend it until you're satisfied with the result. Obviously, the neck under the jawline has the greatest shadow, so that's why I added so much more brown there. And I also added a little bit of pink for the cheeks, so there's a little bit more realistic color. And progressively added more and more darks in the face. But you got to be really careful. The more you go in, I sometimes make a mess of the nose because the paper starts to get all funny, and then it bleeds in worse ways. So be careful. Definitely don't want to overdo it. So here I added darker brown as well, because that's where the hair is going to be, and it casts a little bit of a shadow. Also some lines in the ear. I do recommend having a photo to see what the folds on the ear look like. You don't have to go hyper realistic. This can be just an inspiration for making a more simpler illustration if that's what you're looking to do. And as you can see here, I went from a lot of detail to a lot of not detail, and really just using the stamp of the brush. I went very free with how I painted the flowers, and it's supposed to be relaxing. Really the whole idea behind what I do here is that besides trying to have a beautiful result at the end, I also wanted to relax while I paint. Painting is such a nice thing to do, and you don't want to make it too stressful. So that's why I opted for very simplistic flowers. I did not want to worry so much about getting all the details right. I think a little bit of abstraction is completely fine. And the combination of these two, the details in the face and less details and just more generic shapes in the rest of the painting, it actually works out quite well, and it balances the painting out in a really neat way. So that's why I decided to just make them loose and not worry. Again, painting is supposed to be relaxing, and especially if you had a stressful day like I did, you just want to do something that takes that stress out, and painting has a really good benefit in that it can do that for you. It can really relax you, and you can sort of just let go in the moment. I also decided to add some leaves, and you can see again that I'm not really worried at all about making realistic shapes, so you can do the same thing. Just sort of dab some color on. Then with yellow, I carefully added the centers of the flowers, tried not to touch the blue especially so that it doesn't bleed into each other. But it did happen a little bit. I mean, you can see that, but it's not too much, it's not too bad. And then it was time to add the details in the face as the colors of the skin, everything, the paint dried, and that made this ready to apply more color without creating chaos. I decided to do brown eyes today, and so I added the darkest colors, and then I added a little bit of orange for the highlight in the eye, and then I went back and I started blending. So again, just clean your brush, wipe it a little, dab it gently onto your paper towel, and it keeps just enough moisture to blend nicely without puddling your painting. So that's my technique. That's how I do this. It works for me every time. Makes the process enjoyable. It becomes very automatic after a while. I added a little bit of gray for the eyeballs, also a little bit of pink for the corner of the eye. And then I saw that there was so much contrast in the eyes that I had to go back towards that nose again, and you can see it's a little messy, but it still worked. I made it work. Also the corners of the mouth and under the lip, I blended again, and then carefully with black, very gently. You don't want the color to be very runny. It will make a mess. So the color is creamy and there's not too much of it on the brush, and then you add the iris and the eyelashes. Then I grabbed red to finish the lips. I left some spaces for the shine, and again with a drier brush took some of the paint away, and that created a nice blend there. Also added the nostrils. I wasn't gonna touch that nose any more than I already have, so I think that's plenty. And then it was time to fill in the hair. And even though I did have lines for the different sections of the hair, I decided to just fill it in with solid black. Again, I like combining detail with total simplicity, and this was the perfect opportunity to do that. And I think the result is really nice. You want to be very careful. Like, I was using a bigger round brush, and a smaller one probably would have been better. It would have been easier to outline the sections. But this is what I did. I would definitely recommend using a smaller brush for outlining before you fill it in with a bigger brush. But I did make it work. And just applying a lot of black color is very satisfying. So the process was really enjoyable. And I didn't have to worry about too many things over here. It was just filling in the last empty space. No further details added. So, of course, if you want to choose a different hair color, you can always do that. But I do like the contrast that black hair adds to the painting. And I just like a lot of contrast, always. So I always try to do something contrasting in my paintings. So I don't know what to say right now. If you like my videos, guys, please give them a like. Leave a comment. Let me know how your own painting is going. Let me know what you like about the paintings, what you could use in learning how to do something, maybe some tips that you would appreciate. And if you like my videos, can you share them? Anything really, really, really helps. And so to all of my viewers and subscribers, you guys, thank you so much that you watch my videos. It is helpful, and I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy sharing it with you. And it's always good to know that my videos are helpful or inspiring, and I just want to bring you a good experience. So I hope that you had fun, and I hope you guys are going to have a great day. Bye-bye.